Hey, everybody, welcome back to Revamped and to this special bonus interview episode for the podcast. Today is a really fun one because I'm getting the chance to sit down, chat, and hang out with someone connected to one of the most iconic guest characters in Buffy the Vampire Slayer history. And that's not just my opinion, because fans literally still talk about this character all these years later. Today, I'm joined by Dagney Care, known for her comedic skills as an actress, writer, dancer, choreographer, all the things, you name it, she's done it, and who every Buffy fan will strongly remember as Miss Kathy Newman, Buffy's unforgettable college roommate from season 4 and one of my personal favorite villains on the show and episodes throughout the series run. Dagney, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me today. I'm really excited to talk Buffy with you.
Oh, thank you for reaching out. I always am delighted to hear that after all these years, people are still talking about Kathy, even though she had a very short life.
Kathy is so memorable. It's insane. Like watching back the episode to do my like walkthrough that we do for the podcast and stuff. We'll get into that coverage like later this week, me and my co-host. But I found myself laughing so hysterically. Like I had forgotten because me and my sister used to watch it a lot growing up. This was a heavily returned to episode all the time. Like we would like put this one on repeat because we love the
Oh,
dynamic of Buffy and Kathy. It's so different from like your normal episode on the show. I mean, obviously we got
yes.
the monster of the week and all of that stuff going on, but in general, it's so funny. And I had watched it, over the years and stuff, obviously, because I returned to the show often. But watching it for the show, for the podcast, it's like a more analytical lens. I'm trying to like piece out stuff, pick up metaphors, subtext, things like that. So I'm hyper focused on stuff. And watching it, I was just like dying. So I had a really great time with it. And my co-host and me did a live Instagram watch this past weekend for some of our fans and stuff to watch the episode and see her react because she's watching the show for the first time
Oh
ever.
my
So we
gosh.
get the fresh 2026 lens through her perspective and, get the fresh watch on her and stuff. So it's a lot of fun and we've been having fun with it. And she was like, Kathy is insane. And I was like, that's what we love about her. We love to hate Kathy.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love it.
You are also our first cast member interview and hopefully not our last. So
Oh,
this is very
fantastic.
iconic for our little podcast. So I'm marking
Yes,
this as something special.
I love
Um,
it.
and before we actually begin, obviously I did a little bit of research and this episode will air in March. But today this recording is taking place on February 23rd. And I noticed yesterday was your birthday.
Yo, good sleuthing.
So
It
yes, happy
is.
belated.
Thank
Did
you
you do
so
anything fun?
much. I did. I had a great day. I went for a day trip outside of the city and just it was beautiful here. So it was just like, yeah, it was just a great day of just like relaxing before, you hit the Monday
For sure.
back to life kind of thing. So thank you for asking. It was really
Of
lovely.
course,
Thank
yeah. I
you.
saw that and I was like, "Oh, I love an Aquarius, so I'm gonna have to make sure I shout out her birthday
Pisces,
too."
Pisces, but I
Oh,
love a
oh, it's the first start. Yes, you're right. You're right.
But I love I do love Aquarians. I find myself friends with a lot of Aquarius folks.
For
So
sure.
yes, very simple.
Pisces,
Very yeah.
Pisces even better. I'm like really into my astrology. I can't believe I just jacked up that astrological date, but
It's
it's okay.
well, it's really like
Mm,
on the cut. It's yes, it's yes. No, you're. It's close enough.
Listen, ironically enough, my mother is a Pisces. Her birthday's in March, but her name is Kathy, but with a C.
Oh no
So
way. Okay,
it's kind of
I
fun.
love it.
Well, let's get into what we're actually here to discuss. I feel it's appropriate to start at the beginning just for the formality of it. Before Buffy even entered the picture, out of all the things that you do, I'm curious what originally made you want to become an actor.
Oh, that's a really great question. So I started with dance, and then I grew up in Cincinnati, and then that has a big arts community. And then my primary years, 4th through 12th grade, I actually went to performing arts school. So really, that was where I feel like still to date got my most experience that prepared me for being in the business. Intense professional environment where you had to re-audition every year. You had to take classes in every discipline, even if it was something that you had a major and minor. So it was very much like a college environment, but
Mhm.
at a very young age. So I started doing that. I mean, I think I did like my first like commercial maybe when I was like 6 or something like that. And then so it's really all I've ever done. So yeah.
Nice. Very interesting career path. I love a dramatic person and stuff. I feel like I would have loved to, like, as a gay male, I'm very theatrical, and I was like, I missed my mark on being an actor or actress, but I don't feel like I would want the pressure of doing any of that type of stuff. I'd rather just show up and like live life versus have that stress of like having to perform. So scary. All right, second question though, were you a Buffy fan before you appeared on the show and aware of the show's success?
Oh, that's such a great question. I don't think I was. I actually, and I'm so glad I wasn't because I think I might have been even more, not to use the word intimidated, but I feel like at that time of my career, I was not aware of how big things were. And I wish I
Sure,
could go back to that. It's such a nice feeling because I think you don't have to go to that layer of don't think about that, just focus on the work, so no, I don't think I ever watched the show. I didn't know how big it was. I didn't know who Joss was. I didn't know Sarah. I knew nothing. And I think that was so good. I'm so glad I knew nothing. The whole
honestly.
experience was a surprise. Even the aftermath. I didn't even know that my character was in had more than 5 lines because that's all I did really in the audition. So I knew nothing. So the whole journey, even now, like, is just been a complete lovely surprise. And I wish I had more things like that, but at least I had one that I had no idea that I was going to be a bigger part. I only got a little bit of, you know, a little piece of the script. Everything was just a lovely surprise.
For sure. Yeah, so I'm assuming you didn't know that you were coming back initially for, like, a follow-up episode and that you were gonna be a monster of the week and a villain for Buffy.
I knew nothing. My audition consisted of doing the scene where I put up the Celine Dion poster, which is a very short scene. That's all I was given. That's all I did. I read it once. I walked away. They said, "You got it." And then when I read through the script, I was like, "Oh, I'm in another scene. Oh my goodness, I'm in all these scenes." Like, no idea.
Yeah. I
I
was
was
surprised that you were in the first episode as much too, watching it back for the podcast. I had forgotten that you were scattered all throughout it. Like, you could have just had that one scene where we learned who Kathy is for, like, a little one up, but you were
totally.
actually, like, with the other people and stuff with throughout the episode, and I was like, "Oh, look at her." I was like, "She really is kind of in 2 full episodes." Obviously, the second one being more centered around you and stuff.
Yeah,
That
I had
first
no idea any of that at all. I literally thought I was just under five lines.
yeah.
I didn't know it was an actual character.
I love that that was your audition, though, the Celine Dion poster gimmick,
Yep,
because that is one of the most iconic things from the episode. Everybody's just like, even Buffy herself in the episode, she's like, "Oh my God, my roommate's gonna be a nightmare because this
totally.
is polar opposite to myself." And I'm like, Celine Dion's everything. Like, us gay people, we were like, "Yes, girl,
Yeah.
like go off with the Celine." Like, we were feeling it. Like, it was everything.
I gotta say, it's
Uh,
funny though to think of like someone so young entering college and putting up Celine Dion. Like it is like, oh, it is a little like, I don't know.
Kathy had some interesting choices.
She did.
Um,
She was an old soul. Literally, she was like 200,000 years old. So just older tastes.
For sure. When you did read the script, what was your reaction to finding out that you were going to be a villain?
Well, it's so funny. I didn't know I was a villain until like a couple years ago.
You're like, "I just thought I was here to hang out."
I didn't know I was a villain. I was at a convention in Paris, and they asked me. They said, "How does it feel to be one of the most popular villains?" And I was like, "Am I a villain?" I didn't know.
Oh my
I
gosh.
never thought of my character as a villain. I thought of her more as a victim than anything. I'm like,
Oh
poor
my
girl,
gosh.
just trying to escape home. Has no social skills.
Sure, sure.
She just thought, I guess this is what college people would wear and what they like. If anything, I think I thought Buffy was the villain because but she didn't even try to like ingratiate herself. She wasn't like empathetic towards Kathy at all. She wasn't like, oh,
Right.
the poor girl. She definitely seems like she's maybe like
Well,
hasn't had a lot of outside experiences outside of her home life. So she could have tried, right? She could have been like, you know
absolutely.
what?
Perspective's
Let
everything
me
too
pull
at
you
the end of the
aside,
day.
girl. Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about
Well,
first this outfit and let's talk about maybe let's introduce you to some hipper music. Like, she could have tried. But no, I had no
sure,
idea I
sure.
was a villain.
Well, it must have been all of that stuff, like you said, her not ingratiating herself. That was what led to her being like, "Okay, you'll be my choice of person I'm going to steal soul from, so that way I can stick around a
Exactly.
lot longer." So
Exactly.
they could have ended up buddy buddy, and she could have found someone else on campus to possibly do this too.
I actually had they pre-write, they have these scripts in the queue way before anything. But I actually think if that had been something where they had extended Kathy's life on the show, I actually could have seen Kathy being almost like a spy for Buffy, but undercover. I could have seen like them being allies, like frenemies, but not roommates,
Sure.
maybe, but I actually could. I actually could have seen that going somewhere.
Yeah,
That
well, with a show like this where they have characters all across the series that start out as a villain and then kind of end up being part of the Scooby Gang
Yeah,
or like hanging out and being friends and stuff in general, like I could see that too,
it
technically.
could have been like she wasn't part of the Scooby Gang, but maybe they'd be like, this this one's for Kathy. Let's bring her in. Like it could be,
Absolutely.
and then Kathy would be like, oh my God, I'm part of the crew. And they're like, just for today, you're going back outside the circle tomorrow, girl. Don't get too
Right.
comfortable.
So, what was it like working so closely alongside Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Fantastic. She's such a professional. And I think not until, I didn't know much about Sarah, but looking back, I think there was a sense because I also, looking back, I forgot that she actually also started working at an early age. And so I felt that there was a very sort of respect level as far as our professionalism. And I mean, we just worked, we didn't really spend much time like hanging out and chatting per se, because there really wasn't time. But I know I got the feeling that we both are very work centric. And so it was lovely. Like there was never, I don't ever any flubs of lines. I'm
Mhm.
definitely a person that was taught to memorize word by word. Like this is a script. This is not something you add your own thing to. And the words were
Cool.
so great. So I don't ever remember being a rehearsal or even a take where either one of us, I do that one again because we had met dialogue. So she was a real professional. And I think that's why we enjoyed working with each other, because I think she could feel that also, like, I know who this person is. I've never met Dagney before, but I can tell she came prepared, and we just had a blast within the role. I think it was really fun for her. She did express that at the end, that it was fun for her to do a different type of episode as well, that this was out of her wheelhouse a little bit from what normally she's allowed to do. And she just said she was amazing.
The next one I had on here was, how do you feel if Cher's Believe comes on to this day?
Oh my goodness. I laugh whenever I hear the song because well, first of all, fun fact, the song that was in the original script was not Believe. It actually just said Kathy goes over to a boombox and plays a Mariah Carey song.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what that, at the moment, it didn't say what Mariah Carey song, but it said Mariah Carey. And I think Cher's Belief is such a more
That's
amazing
crazy. I
choice.
didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's kind of a fun fact.
Absolutely. I'm happy for that fun fact, honestly. So, talking really quickly about the reveal and the fight scene at the very end of the episode, the makeup that you were wearing is quite interesting. I'm curious what that process of the makeup was like doing the prosthetics and the contacts and the teeth. Have you ever done anything like that before?
Never. I have never done anything like that before. And wow, kudos to people that do have to put all that on daily, because that was intense. Actually, the process of the makeup was not as bad for me as the contacts. The contacts were where they're like fully in almost encompassing your entire eye.
Sure.
So that was really challenging because you can't really see.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a story that I tell often, just to not only it just also speaks to what a great person Sarah is. I actually remember being in the contacts I couldn't see, and I was in my trailer, which was just a tiny little thing. And she asked me what I was doing in here, and I said, well, what do you mean? And she goes, well, why do they have you in such a small trailer? And I was like, I don't know. And she goes, I'm going to get you moved. So she moved me over to Giles' trailer, who was not shooting that day,
Oh.
to keep me in there, which was so nice. I mean, I couldn't I couldn't see anyway, so it's not like I enjoyed being there because I'm like, I can't watch TV, I can't see
Sure.
anything. But yeah, the contacts were really challenging for me personally.
I had a feeling.
And I was in there for a long time. And then the makeup, boy, those people are amazing. They're amazing. But yeah, to have to do that on a daily basis for people that wear the prosthetics, that is crazy.
As far as like the choreography goes for the fight sequence and stuff, obviously you're a choreographer. Was that pretty easy for you to catch on really quickly what y'all were doing with the moves in between the stunt doubles?
You know what? It actually, so being a dancer and then being a stunt fighter, well, first of all, I didn't know that I was going to have to do that until the day that I got there.
Right.
Like everything else with the show, everything was a surprise. I just remember the stunt coordinator goes, okay, so you're going to stand here and then you're going to backhand her and da-da-da. And I've never done fight choreography. I've done dancing, but that's quite different. And my stunt guy kept saying, it looks like you're doing ballet. I was like, well, I know, because I don't know how to backhand anybody. And so he's like, it just looks really pretty. Like, it looks like you're dancing. And I was like, I know. I was like, I don't know how to get it. Like, but yeah, it's quite different, the skill. It's like, I think being coordinated helped to pick it up quickly, but getting the look of it to make it look powerful, and how you kind of have to overdo it and figure, that was a little bit challenging for me, but I think we got it eventually. But yeah, I'd never done anything like that.
It looked great.
Thank you. Well, I feel like the thing with Buffy, which was such a gift, is, it encapsulates, like, usually if you do a guest star or you're on something, you don't get to do fighting, comedy, drama, prosthetics. You know what I mean? It was like, it really encompassed pretty much anything that you would want to do in one thing. And then on top of that, for it to be something that continues on, that people enjoy, just the whole experience is iconic in my mind for all of that.
Well, my last one for like this set of these before I do my little rapid fire ones, which are super simple statement ones. So Kathy is taken back to her demon dimension by her father versus getting slain. So obviously you survived your encounter with the Slayer. What do you think happened to Kathy when she returned home, and what do you think she's up to today?
Oh my gosh, there are so many things, so many avenues I could go with that. Well, first of all, I think she was grounded. They're pretty strict in that world with grounding. So I wasn't allowed to go anywhere for a while. There's part of me that's like, oh, maybe she just met someone and has like 12 children. Just like lives at home. But then there's also like part of me, it's funny, I'm kind of going like the route of like she just kind of settled, because I don't think it's the first time that maybe she tried to get away from her demon life.
I think she did get away from her demon life. Do you want to know my take on what I think happened?
I think it's depends. Yes, please.
So I think she moved to a town called Fairview, and that she stole someone else's identity and became Nurse Heisel.
You're hilarious. Oh my God, that is so funny. I could see that too. I mean, that's the thing I keep forgetting, that she steals other identities. I think I keep forgetting that because she stole my identity, which is me, if that makes sense. So sometimes I have to remind myself, like, oh yeah, I was the identity that she stole, not me. Anyway, meaning not what I look like, because it's weird to think that, but anyway.
I love it because the characters are so similar to each other. I'm a huge Desperate Housewives fan myself.
Oh, yes.
So to see her as a kid, a handful 4 or 5 years later over on Desperate Housewives, I was like, oh my God, it's Kathy. And then like the passive aggressiveness was still there, her interactions with Susan, and then like her lying about her nurse's exam and then not even questioning it. Like that was just so funny, and it was so on track for Kathy's energy. That's what I've always told myself, was that was truly Kathy. Just reiterated, she finally got someone else's soul. So.
Oh, I love that. That's a really great theory. I love. I think that's the most fun thing too about meeting fans. They all have their own take. They have such backstories that I would never in a million years have thought of. I've even had someone tell me that they thought that Kathy was actually a gay boy trapped.
Okay.
I said, oh, is that because I guess you're basing on that in the Cher and Celine Dion?
Sure.
But I was like, wow, that's really deep. I was like, okay.
Listen, everyone.
So they were like, I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it. Hey, you know what? The fact that anybody is recapping something. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff I'm really proud of. But, you know, there's a lot of things that people have never seen, will probably never watch, nor talk about. So the fact that, you know, as an actor, you could have anything be something that people really enjoy, and for some reason over time they keep coming back to it, is an honor. And that's how I feel.
Absolutely. Well, my final question before I see you off is really just if you have a favorite Kathy quote or a favorite scene from the episode, if not both.
Good question. I think just being like in the experience of it, I think my favorite scene where I feel like the crew was laughing a lot, and I feel like Sarah and I really found like our dynamic was the whole thing where she's trying to leave and I'm asking her about logging the calls and I'm ironing and then turning the music on. That scene, I remember when we did it, it was so fun, because I could really see Sarah's reaction to the moment, if that makes sense, like authentically. So we didn't rehearse that much at all. I mean, I don't even remember. I think maybe like a real quick one for camera. And then, you know, we shot fast.
Yeah.
Not a lot of takes.
I figured it was going to possibly be the milk scene.
Yes, that too. I think the reason why the logging was him, because it was like a longer scene.
Yeah.
And so I do remember, you know, them doing my coverage, then her coverage. So I just remember it being a longer scene that I felt us really developing the kernel of her frustration already a little bit with trying to be still polite. Where, you know, I'm like, oh, you're going out, and you know that it just felt easy. It's just, the whole thing felt easy. But I think it was working with Sarah, but also the writing was so great. You know, you kind of just knew the script just led you where to go with the character.
Right.
So everything about that experience just felt easy, which is not normally how things feel.
Absolutely, especially our recording today.
Well, I'm just sad I didn't get to really see you that much. I'm so glad at least I got the beginning where
It's
it was
fine.
clear. But I hope that you were able to get what you needed.
Absolutely. I will make it work. It'll be fine. Some people will hear exactly what they need to, honestly, at the same time. And I, if anything, for my own personal experience, this was great. Like, I'm obviously very much in gratitude for you coming in to join me today and talk about it. You know, you obviously created so many iconic memories on the screen for me and for fans, but now obviously this extends into real life too. So I very much appreciate it.
So sweet. My pleasure. And you did an amazing job. So good for you. And I wish you much success with it. And I just think, you know, anytime someone has a passion for something, that reveals longevity. So hopefully that will for you too.
Absolutely. Well, if you want to take a second to let anyone know what you've got going on in your life currently, or where they can keep up with you on socials and stuff, feel free to shout that out right now.
Yeah, I would say I am not social media shy. I'm just really lazy about, like, I feel like, oh my gosh, it took me an hour to figure out how to post this. So that's why I don't post as often as I would like to. Because then I'm like, oh, how did that turn? How is that sideways? I posted it. I thought it was vertical. Anyway, I'm one of those. I'm like, if I had somebody technical that was just like, well, I'll do it for you, I would be like, yeah, go and take it on. But I do absolutely love interacting with fans. So probably Instagram is probably the most social media friendly for me, because it's easier.
Yep.
So feel free to follow and reach out. I love hearing from fans, and yes, and probably do most of my updates there.
Gotcha.
So I appreciate that.
Of course, I'll tag you on there so everybody can find Dagney Care. Other than that, I will leave us there. As I've made aware, I appreciate you doing this, and I had so much fun. I wish you all the best, all the good energy, all the birthday week energy too, since you're leading into your next little bit. Other than that, we are good to go. Thank you so much for being here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure, and best of luck to you with everything. And we can chat down the road. We can maybe do it on a different app.
I got you. All right, Dagney.
Give you more of a smoother experience. But all right,
it's
take
okay.
care. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
That concludes my interview with Dagney 𝐂𝐿. That was so much fun. I loved hearing her little random stories that she had to talk about on set. And even though we had some technical difficulty, because things can never just be easy, we got through it, and it wasn't super hell on me, because I'm saying this post editing and production. It wasn't so bad on me to edit. Actually was able to get all of our stuff that we needed, and even though I skipped a few questions and stuff like that, I'm still honored that she took the time to come and chat with us, and for you guys to be able to hear something and get a little experience off of this. And, you know, like I said to her, this will be a great memory for me, and for one of my favorite episodes of Buffy, getting to talk to another character, because I myself have only ever been live in person with Nicholas Brendon before, and we all know that that's not not something to really toot your horn about, but still an awesome experience though, to be able to hang out with any Buffy cast member, no matter how big or a little amount of time they spent on this show. So either way, I'm going to sign us off here. I hope you guys will join us next week for our next episode. We will be getting into Angel, of course, episode 2. Other than that, we will catch you guys back here for that one. Bye.